Hello, my name is Josh. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I've recently been through a divorce. Thanks for coming back to my channel. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about something that really helped me get through the depression that came on, in the divorce process. I think like many people, when you start, especially early on in the divorce process itself, once you realize that divorce is kind of imminent, you know, you get depression, and it's a very real part of the process, and it is something that requires healing to get through. And it's definitely something that I dealt with. And, my heart goes out to anyone who deals with depression. Prior to kind of the troubles before my marriage, before the divorce, and the divorce is the first time I dealt with depression. And, man, it was tough. It was dark. It is something I do not wish on anyone. But one of the things that helped me get through the depression was a speech that I heard very early on from a retired admiral gave at a commencement speech. And I will put a link down below in my channel to that speech because I think everyone should listen to it. And it's about kind of changing the world and what we can do to change the world. And there was a lot of very inspirational advice that he gave. But one of the very first pieces of advice that he gave was to every morning wake up and make your bed. And I know some people think to themselves, well, that's stupid. Why make your bed? I'm just going to get back in it and make it dirty again. And I was that person, so I completely relate to that. But as I listened to the speech, I decided, okay, fine, I'm going to make my bed every day. And in all clarity, here we are 2 years later plus, and I can probably count on one hand since then how many times I have not made my bed. It is now just part of my daily routine. But the reason that making my bed helped me was because, especially when I was feeling depressed, sometimes when you're dealing with depression, just getting out of bed is a task in and of itself. And so I decided I was going to start making my bed. And so in the morning, I would wake up, usually go to the bathroom, and then come back immediately and make my bed. And sometimes that's about most all that got done that day is I'd make it, and then I would lay on top of it, but I wouldn't get back in my covers. And that sounds funny, but if you're not like really warm and in your covers, it actually makes it a little easier to get out to do something. Like if you have to take care of your kids and all the other things in life that don't stop just because you feel depression. So that was part of it. But the real magic that came from making my bed was at that time, there was days when like you accomplish nothing. And then if you accomplish one little thing, and that one little thing is making your bed, then the next task that I had to do, like taking a shower, or one of the things I picked up early on was going on walks because I found out walking helped me kind of work through the emotions. It made it easier. If I made my bed right away, it was just a little bit of momentum that made it easier to do the next task. So then if I went on my walk, then the next task, which may be, taking a shower and getting ready for work, was just a little bit easier. And really what it did is it taught me this idea of daily momentum. That if I just did some little small tasks, just little, and making your bed is a small task, for me it is at least. If I just start my day by a small little task, it gives me the momentum to go to the next small task. And that momentum, by the end of the day, oftentimes snowballs into, wow, I got a lot done today. But on the days when you're really dealing with depression, it may, instead of a lot, it may be 4 things got done that day. And given how hard that day was to get through, just getting 4 things done was an accomplishment. And it all started with just making my bed. So as you work through the emotions of it all, hopefully you'll get more and more done throughout a day, and eventually you get back to a point where you're accomplishing everything that you would typically do in a day. But when you're in that super deep depression mode, any small victory is worth getting. Any small victory is worth getting. And if making your bed is that small victory, then take it. Then just take it and tell yourself you're going to force yourself to do one menial task, and that's to make your bed. Now, something else that I actually found that helped me too is, like I mentioned, for me, it was making my bed, and then I would go on a walk in the mornings. I found within myself that sometimes there was a barrier to going on a walk. I'd wake up, I'd make my bed, and then I'd go into my closet. Oh, what am I going to wear today? And oh, shoot, I better look at what the weather's like outside. How hot or how cold is it? So one of the things that I did also, the night before, I would check the weather for the next day, for the next morning, right? I knew what time I'd be waking up, and I'd look at the weather. Okay, this is what that was going to be like. I would set out my shoes, my clothes, everything I was going to wear. I'd set it out on my chair in my room where I get dressed. That way, once I made my bed, I didn't have to think. It was an automatic slide right into those clothes and shoes and socks and everything, and then out the door for my walk. So as part of that momentum, I learned how to do the small tasks, which, like making my bed was a small task to move me on. But then I figured out ways to plan ahead a little bit, which would remove the obstacles that I would face the next day. Because if I had less obstacles, I was more likely to get something done. Let me explain how that relates to making your bed. If you have a bed that takes 20 minutes to make because you've got 15 comforters and 42 pillows and 3, stuffed animals, maybe you simplify your bed. Maybe for a period of time, you just make it simple. Because that way you can make it in 2 minutes. Or whatever that is, remove the barrier that is there that's making it overly difficult. Again, now these types of things that I started working on when I was in depression, and just those small wins that I needed because I felt like nothing was going my way and I was getting no wins in my life. Now, those small tasks are just part of a daily routine. I don't even think about it anymore. I wake up, I go to the bathroom, I make my bed, I get my shoes on, I go for a walk. It is just part of a routine that now keeps me healthy, that keeps my mind clear, that keeps my body in better shape, that keeps my spirits higher, that really has helped me heal and pull me through the depression. But it all started with something as simple as watching a speech and then deciding I was going to make my bed every day. I hope this helps if you're dealing with depression. It really did help me. So again, my name is Josh. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And while this channel, or I'm a member of the church, this channel is not endorsed by it. I'm not a counselor or a therapist. I'm just someone who's been through divorce, who has learned a few lessons along the way, who's learning more as I go, and just hoping that by sharing what I've learned, it can possibly help. Let people know that they're not alone, that this divorce, it really is hard, but you can get through it. Thanks for coming to my channel.